first introduce yourselves?
Okay.
Ty.
I'm Trey.
We are the Icarus Account.
Yes, we are.
So how did you guys come up with the name the Icarus Account?
Icarus was trapped on an island, it's Greek mythology, and he glued wings to his body to fly off. And it's kind of far-fetched, but I mean, it's Greek mythology. But to us, it was his pride was his downfall, so we just wanted to remember to be humble with our music and remember where we came from and who we were as people before we started doing music, so that when we got to where we wanted to be, that we would still be the same person, same people. Yep.
Well, on y'all's online biography on your website, it said that you've been playing since you were 6 years old, I believe.
Yeah, when we started piano, violin, our parents were twins, by the way. I don't know if you said that, but our parents made us take piano and violin lessons when we were really little. So we started when we were 6, and then we ended up quitting those when we were like 11 or 12, and then we picked up guitar when we were 12 and fell in love with music and writing and all that stuff.
Well, we got to play songs that we enjoyed and not something by some, no offense, but some dead composer from like 1600 who we had nothing in common with. You know, we got to play music that we had heard on the radio and stuff like that. So it was really, we could identify with it.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of y'all being twins, how is it being in a band with your brother? Do you think it gives you any advantages or disadvantages as a band?
I think it's all advantages because you've seen the worst they can be. Like, there's nothing new. It's not like one day Trey blows up at me and I'm like, I've never seen Trey like that before. I don't know if I can do this anymore. It's like, that happened when we were 10. Yeah. Like when we played basketball together and he threw the ball at me. That was the same exact tone of voice that he used. You know what I mean? So there's really no surprises, and you know each other so well that like we know that we're not going to give up on each other or our music. Like it's our dream. It's not just something that I want to do. It's not just something that he wants to do. It's something that we both want to do. And we've had the same. We've been on the same page for so many years, so I think that it's a huge advantage.
Yeah. Well, musically too, it helps because we played together for years and years and years. So it's when we're on stage, a lot of times we just
feed off each other.
Yeah. It's like we just know what's happening. So.
Well, how would you describe your music?
Awesome. We usually call it like an acoustic pop thing, some kind of singer-songwriter pop. We used to think we were indie, but then we kind of realized that we weren't that indie, and we're not that cool underground, but no, it's like acoustic pop stuff.
Yep.
What would you consider your greatest accomplishment so far?
Traveling in a car.
Playing in Baton Rouge.
Man, there's a lot of things I'm really proud of. I think that to be able to support yourself financially full time as a musician,
as an unsigned musician,
is definitely a big deal. And whatever, like that means different things to different people. Like we're not millionaires or even close, but we're making enough for us to live, and like that's a huge accomplishment. Like that's what I wanted to do my whole life. To be able to tour around the country and do what we love for a living is huge, and that's like personal accomplishment right there. Like we do it for the fans, we do it for we do it because we love music. But I think that personally, it's really like we're both really proud of the fact that we are able to do what we love for a living. That's really, really huge, and I can't imagine doing anything else with my life. So we're very fortunate. We're very blessed. We have the fans that we do, and everyone who supported us along the way.
Yeah. We've had some awesome shows along the way. Like we had a sold-out show in Canada last year, which was really cool. And then probably our biggest out-of-state show was we had like 300 people in Minneapolis one time. That was really cool just to kind of see. Like the first time we played in Minneapolis, there was maybe like 25 kids or something. Something. I mean, really small. And then to go and play just a couple years later, play for 300 people.
Yeah.
That was awesome just to see how our music has grown and spread. And
it's really cool. When we show up somewhere and we don't know anybody, and there's you can see like when you walk in the door and somebody's like you're here, and we're like, what's up, guys? How's it going? I mean, that's crazy to us that like our music has come that far because it started.
Well, especially being brothers, it still feels like a really small scale thing. It's like when we're making music, it's just him sleeping on my couch, me, us in the bedroom jamming out, being like, hey, what do you think of this idea? What do you think of that?
Yeah.
Recording in a bedroom or something, because we still do a lot of our own recording. So it's, in a lot of ways, it still feels really small. So it's cool when it starts to feeling big.
Yeah. I mean, when people sing along back to us, we're like, I don't know you at all, and you're singing our songs. This is crazy. So that's huge. I mean, I love the fans that we have. That's a huge accomplishment. Like the way that we've been able to connect with them. I think that's one of the reasons why we do this, because personally, like we can't meet everybody in the world, but our music can reach so many more people than we can individually reach, like right here, right now, So I mean, right now there's somebody listening to our music in Germany or something like that, and that's crazy to think of. So,
what's your ultimate goal for the band?
I mean, just to keep going, really. I mean, we want to be a lot bigger than we are now, for sure, And I think ultimately we'd like to be signed to a major label and be promoted well by that major label. But, it's hard whenever you start talking about labels, because you see a lot of bands that will get signed and then either the label won't promote them at all, or they will no longer have creative control, or, they'll get kind of big, but then 2 years later, the label drops them and they've made no money off of any of their records, and their fans have all just kind of left or whatever. So it's a little bit tricky, but I mean, ultimately we would love to be
doing this forever,
playing huge arenas and venues and all that kind of stuff. But we're content with just taking it day by day for now.
Yeah, I think that with us, we've it's been a slow growing process. Some people will blow up overnight and they'll tank overnight as well. I think for us, it's just been like a steady thing where we just keep going. So we want to see.
By the time we're like 57,
we'll be
awesome.
We'll be at Bieber's level,
We'll be there.
I think that ultimately we want to do this. Like, we love music and we love reaching people with our music and sharing our stories with them, and that means a lot to us. And I think that we want to keep doing that. And right now it's on a smaller scale, but we want it to get bigger and bigger. But we love it enough to even, like, we're never gonna stop. Like, there's nothing that's gonna stop us, honestly, because we can make the music ourselves, we can release it ourselves, and we've learned how to do it so far. So there's no reason for us to stop. So I don't see it happening
unless the band breaks up.
Yeah, because we hate each other so much.
Can't stand being on tour with my brother anymore.
Exactly. Yeah.
Y'all have released CD every year since 2007.
Yep.
How has that happened every single year, and what was your favorite CD to release?
Part of it has been, because we do a lot of our own recordings, and when we first started, we didn't really have money to go to a big studio, so we just found a really small studio that let us do a percentage deal, and then we quickly realized that it wasn't a great studio, so we're like, man, if we want this to sound good, we kind of have to learn on our own, like, to make it sound good. And so we've been able to learn how to do it, so it's been, funding wise, we've been able to do one every year because we recorded it ourselves. And then writing wise, there's two of us that write, so that can help. You have a lot of bands that it's like they can't write enough songs to release an album every year, but with us, there's like more songs than we know what to do with every year. So that's, like, there's still so many songs that haven't released that we're like, man, I wonder, like, I'd really like that to be on an album, but then it just never quite to make it.
Yeah, we could release probably about 2 albums right now if we wanted to. Like, we write that much. But I think also being in control of everything, like, labels will kind of take an artist and be like, okay, what are your best songs? And they'll give them, their 10 best songs, and they'll say, we need
like
5 more
of these,
songs. Four of these songs, and so somebody's telling them what to do and what songs they want, what songs they don't want. And for us, we can do whatever we want. And so more often than not, sometimes songs that we didn't think were going to be popular at all, they end up being really popular. And some of the songs that we think everyone's going to love, they're like, it's okay. And so you really never know until you release it. So I think that's been kind of a fun part of doing it ourselves, kind of figuring out what everybody likes, because sometimes there's not always a set formula.
Well,
our favorite album.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, no, go ahead. That's where I was going.
Well, I think Mayday was the first full length that we did, and that one was really hard to record because we really took it on ourselves, and we were in school. We didn't really know anything about recording, so we were kind of learning along the way. And it took us 9 months between when we started recording and when we actually released the album. So that one will always mean a lot to us. And then The newest one I feel like is from start to finish probably like our strongest all around thing. We definitely have other songs like Favorite Girl kind of came on an EP in the middle. It's been our most popular song to date, but I think those two full lengths to me stand out as like the two that as a whole I'm most proud of.
Yeah, we can listen to each one and say, oh my gosh, remember when we were recording in our grandma's house, and when we were recording in so-and-so's place, remember we went to LA and stayed up 48 hours to try and get that done. So there's a piece of us in every album that we're proud of and that we're like, man, I wish we would have had more time, or
I'm proud of.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that every album has its own special things, but yeah, I'd probably agree. Made is a special one. So yeah.
Well, lastly, because set's coming up, what would be your advice to any aspiring musicians?
Don't stop. I guess don't wait for things to happen. Like take action. You know what I mean? Because you can wait forever and nothing will ever happen. So you just have to grab it by the horns and wrestle it down sometimes. You know?
Yeah. One maybe a more, I guess, practical way of putting it is like, write as many songs as you can, and then find a few of your best ones and record it professionally. Like find a way, scrap up the money, work an extra job, whatever it takes to
quality
get.
over quantity.
Some quality recordings, and because then you have something to sell, you have something to promote, and then just promote as hard as you can, as much as you can. And like I said, don't stop, don't wait for something else to happen. Like a lot of people will pay like $15,000 and have this awesome CD, and then they'll just throw it up on Facebook and be like, oh, I'm just waiting to be discovered, people are just going to find me. It's like, no, people don't just go find you. Like, you have to be out there, and then people start finding you. So you kind of have to start doing it on your own first.
Yep.
Well, thank you all so much.
Thank you.
No problem.